Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Just the Tip, the show where we raw dog any and all topics as suggested by you, our audience. I'm Monty.
7 up.
I used to love that game. I'd always get a little upset on the inside when I didn't get picked, though. It's like, I thought y'all were my friends.
It's like sports when you get the last one picked.
Oh, it was. Oh, I mean, I was the fat, nerdy kid, so for me, 7 Up was a sport. It was hard getting up out of the desk and walking all the way up.
Duck, Monty. Was.
Oh, I love Duck Duck Goose.
Red Rover. Rover was fun.
Red Rover was fun. It was like I'd always like try to put my head down and just try to break the other kid's arms. Like it's like, hey, that's on you. You chose to play the game. It's a violent game.
I think it might be a little bit more fell anymore.
Did you see the other day they put a personal foul when somebody breathed on Tom Brady during a timeout? It was his teammate. That's how protected these quarterbacks are these days.
It's real shit.
No, I'm just.
Jesus Christ, dude. What
It's
the fuck?
it's
How did
I
miss
said
that?
they breathed on him during a timeout, and it was his teammate, and you still.
I don't see that, dude.
But that's how protected they are these days.
It's a different game. I grew up watching. You put some of the quarterbacks back in the day playing today's society or today's game, not society, but today's game. They're gonna put up. Dan Marino would throw for 7,000 season. Go bumper.
So there was that issue with Patrick Mahomes possibly breaking the single season passing yards record because the season's now 17 games compared to before it was 16. So I don't know if he actually. I don't think he did it because he needed like 450 yards in his last game. But the big topic in the sports world was, well, does it count? It took him an extra game to do it. Does it really count?
You're changing the way everything's done. You gotta like factor that shit in there.
I always take
It counts for
like
this. I would say it counts
for this era.
for this era of like overall. Like
I can agree with that, but I also think sports have too many records. Like I love football, I love basketball. Like I think baseball especially has way too many. Like
you
I
know,
like in the
it's been
NBA all
around
the
for
time.
200 years, damn near.
Yeah. I know like the NBA they'll always do something. It's like first player to score 30 points while having had a tee before the game and after it. Like and then the next record will be first player to score 30 points while having green tea before the game. And they'll put that in the record books.
Yeah, some stats are fucking stupid. I don't follow, but the passing yard one.
Here's the stats that matter to me. For the per game stats. Because those you can compare even from era to era because you can kind of adjust base okay, per game in his era, that's where he was.
Yeah,
So like the per games and then obviously MVPs and titles. Like so
yeah. If you go by era, it's just
so where does era though where does like I want to talk
when
about
there's
this
a
a little
rule
bit.
change. When there's a rule change that like dramatically impacts the game, and like defense, you're not allowed to play defense. Almost,
Well,
it's fucking
you basically got to play it with your hands behind your back.
yeah. Can't lead down. I think a lot of these like in the referees garbage. Like it's almost that it needs to be automated. See if things. I've seen some non-issue, no calls, pass interference. I've
See,
seen
if a receiver and the corner are fighting each other the whole way, they're going back and forth. I'm fine with that being a no call because they're both going at it. Like that, something like that, I'm okay with it being a no call. Like receivers pushing off or what, something like that, and
yeah
they're both fighting. Like okay, that I'm okay with because they're it.
redo the down then. I don't know because that does impact it. Like because then it's who started it bullshit, who reacted.
Yeah,
play
because
the down, maybe. I don't know.
you do want it to be a test of each one's skill, not just
Right.
it's one of those. It depends on like what the ref sees. Like have they been doing it all game, or was it just this one play they got tangled up, or things like that.
I know they're different organizations, NFL and the other sports, but factor this in. They say they do it for concussions, stat, and the other thing. And then you got the NHL,
Where they
where
literally
you will
beat
beat
each
the
other.
fuck out of each other. Then you've got MMA or fucking UFC, whatever one you want to pick.
So here's what I'll give MMA and UFC. Like
You
what I'll
get
give.
paid all this money, do this. You know what the fuck you signed up for.
Well,
Like you
here's
can't be
with
blatantly trying to fucking take
yeah,
people's heads off and
yeah.
help. I get that, but like,
So the NFL though, I will give it like one thing between that and like MMA. Like it's not really apples to apples because with the NFL, it's like yeah, it's a violent sport. It's a lot of hitting, but not everyone is paid the way that
no, not everybody's paid
like
equally.
yeah.
No,
So like that is an issue when you're talking about getting all
you
that
knew what
money that
you
they're
knew what you
making.
signed up for.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like you knew that's what you signed
Yeah,
up for. You know that that's the risk. Like I know you're a Miami fan. Tua and his concussions,
yeah.
he knows the risk and he still wants to play. And they got to protect him from himself. So sometimes it's not the players.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
about
the
him
owners
playing.
trying to save face.
I'd like to touch on the Tua thing, but I don't think that I mean, he's a genuinely nice dude. But the man cannot take a hit. I cannot imagine if somebody fucking full on accidentally die. Like, and I'm
But
not. I would never
potentially,
wish that. Like, and I never really want to be the guy to take the liberties away from a man who loves.
but at some point you do got to protect him. And
Right.
with what do you have, 3 or 4 concussions within the span of 3 or 4 games?
But like,
Well,
and
two
plus
two two
he
reported.
doesn't know how to fall. Every time he falls, like, doesn't tuck his head. His head hits, and it's just like the first one in the Buffalo when they diagnosed it as a hip thing or whatever. When he hit his head, he actually hit his head hard, but the dude whipped down. Like I get,
Oh, the
and
one
then
where he had
and then
played another
yeah,
down before they took him out.
yeah, and then the next game was like Cincinnati, I believe. Got brought down. Really fucking hit his head. The game he hit his fucking head, and it's just like
But still,
you're a glass cannon, bro. Like, ugh.
see. I never would have drafted Tua because generally, if a guy's getting hurt in college, he's gonna be getting hurt in the NFL.
Yeah, it's
Like,
everybody's faster,
yeah,
everybody's stronger.
yeah. Like I would have taken Herbert over him in a heartbeat. And I was saying during that draft, like, look, I'm not taking him. Like, give me the next guy that I know can at
Yeah.
least be on the field.
That and you're gonna take them, which they did. And Chris Greer is an a-hole. That dude's been a part of the organization for far too long, and that's how long they've been.
That's their general manager.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He got the other guy, Tannenbaum or whatever. They were like
Co-manager.
booty heads or whatever. And
booty heads.
yeah, but like they never shored up the offensive line. So what they did this year is they got Teron Armstead, who's a stud, and accumulated. He got a season-ending game, played through it, and accumulated 3 more injuries throughout the whole season. Played through it. He was, and then they got an All-Pro guard, I believe it was, and a center. So why would you not just get a center in the All-Pro guard, and then like they didn't do anything to really fucking like you should have bolstered that fucking line up. Like if you know you got a guy that's a little quarterback back there and a little bit of a scramble happy guy, build in and go out. And the offensive line for Miami's been a fucking shit show for over a decade now.
Well, what
And
they
it's like,
did was they went out and got Tyreek Hill and they drafted Jalen Waddle, who are both obviously incredible receivers.
right.
But to me, that's the last thing you worry about spending top dollar on when like that's the last phase. You gotta get a quarterback. You don't win without having a dude. Like you gotta have a guy that he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes,
Right.
but he's gotta at least be a Dak Prescott. You know, like
Yeah.
a guy who can make the throws, can scramble, do that. And then you gotta protect him.
Tua can do that. He can throw, but like they weren't.
Like,
When you're constantly under duress, man, I don't give a fuck who your receivers are.
well, Joe Burrow tore his ACL his second year. No, he tore it his rookie year. He missed his second year. And then what did the Bengals do? They went and shored up their offensive line. Now, their offensive line was banged up and he got sacked
Yeah.
a ton in his third year, but they intended, like, you can't help the injuries, but they intended to protect him. And now they might be going to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row.
Lamar Jackson in Miami next year.
You know what? As a
That would be
Steelers fan,
stupid.
I pray to God they give him like a 200 and I believe 30 was what Deshaun got. Give him a 250 fully guaranteed. I just want them to ruin their cap. Like, he's amazing, but if you're going to pay your quarterback that much guaranteed money, you're going to have a situation like the Packers do with Aaron Rodgers where they can't really afford to pay everyone else.
Yeah, and then he's gonna bitch about who's.
See, that's one thing I always admired about Brady, because at the end of the day,
He restructured.
yeah, he's restructured all the time. And at the end of the day, when you're making that kind of money, a couple million here and there does not make any difference to your lifestyle at
Not only
all.
that, if you're out there winning championships, you're gonna get endorsements from other things.
Yeah.
So you're
But
gonna make your fucking money.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's like your lifestyle will not change because of the money you're making when you have already had that much money. It will change because of the teammates that you have.
Right.
Like Aaron Rodgers he could have not gotten this last contract, and he's got upon generational wealth. But he wanted 50 million a
I know
year.
inflation.
Lost.
Broke next week.
But I mean, the way he spends money, though, I don't think so. He's got like a modest house and like that. He's not like very flashy. He's a diva in his personality and his like wanting attention, but he doesn't like buy a ton of crazy stuff the way some other guys. But
O's.
like, I don't want to say work life balance, but they just become numbers on a screen at a certain point when you're making money like that. It's just nothing will change. But Brady restructured, and he was a menace for us. Like,
Meanwhile, we got Black Adam on the screen the whole time we're talking about the NFL.
oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Black Adam in a little bit, but like
ADD from the fucking jump.
But like, I think this is a good conversation.
No, it is definitely a good.
If you guys are enjoying the sports talk, leave us a comment down below telling us what your favorite team is, and we'll tell you why we hate them.
Favorite team is.
I'll tell you why I hate your favorite team.
I'll tell you why I hate your fan base.
Actually, yeah, like I love when Stephen A goes on his rants about the Cowboys fans being the worst fans ever. It's like people try to tell me Steelers fans are like the worst fans ever.
Dude,
and I will
think
admit,
it might be geographically, like we're subjected to it more. So like I will agree to the Steelers fans because the motherfuckers are like wearing their coffee stained, beer stained, fucking Terry Bradshaw jersey. Jerome Bettis is still playing for him. Keep saying we won, we did this, we did that. Like
okay, so that I don't
cut you a fucking check. Shut the fuck up.
See, like, I don't do that because it's like
I'm not saying all.
Yeah.
I know. Majority of them doing it's just like
I love the Steelers. They're my favorite team, but I don't go out there and go, yeah, we beat the Ravens today. It's like I'm not on the team.
What number were you?
Honestly, like, I would love to be the third string quarterback. Like, I'd still make like $1 million a year, and I'd never have to actually play. Like, Mason Rudolph sucks. I could do what Mason Rudolph's doing right now, nothing, and make $1 million a year.
You go.
But here's the thing. Like, I feel like
they're spoiled. The fans are spoiled. So they've got don't get me wrong. They've got a historically great franchise. They do. But like, it's just the fan base is like they went out. They did it.
It's kind of like that. That's like the difference between the NFL and the NBA, though. Like in the NBA, it's a lot more about the individual superstars. Like people go there to see a LeBron James, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, whereas in the NFL, it's about the team, and people don't care who has the jersey on. Like they really don't. Like as sad as it is to say, because they are human beings playing a very violent sport. Fans find 99% of players just interchangeable when it comes to the NFL.
Yeah, you're still gonna root for your squad.
Yeah, you're gonna root
unless you're like a fucking fanboy. Well, they're not winning, so I'm gonna jump teams.
Yeah, I love those bandwagon request forms that you see online all the time. Whenever like
Yeah.
there's one for Daniel Jones because he played amazing the other day. It's like
Yeah.
or it's like I apologize to Daniel Jones for thinking he sucked because the media told me to. I'm an idiot. Something like that. It's
No.
like I love seeing those memes. And
Uh,
like speaking of Daniel Jones though, I'm very intrigued to see what he does in this next game because he might be playing for $100 million or so. Like I don't think he's gonna get. He's obviously not gonna get that crazy top tier quarterback money, but I think depending on how he plays in this next game, 150 million might be on the table.
yeah.
Not fully guaranteed,
I don't
not
think you're gonna
100
get anywhere near
guaranteed.
that unless he wins the Super Bowl.
Well, he's been playing great all season, and he's he was amazing last game. If he's amazing again in the next game, like if he gets a contract, I think it's gonna be in that range. Now they could always franchise tag him and say, "Hey, we want to see one more year out of you." In
Yeah.
which case he would make, I want to say around 10% of the cap. So he'd get about 30, 35. What is the cap? I think it's like 370 now. But like he'd be getting in that 30, 35, give or take a little bit. So if you just extrapolate that out for over a 4 year contract,
Yeah.
it's about like that's basically, do they want to make a 4 year commitment? Because either way, he's going to be making 30 million a year, just because that's the way quarterbacks get paid.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
I think
interesting.
Tua is in right here. End of his rookie deal.
I,
So I don't know. I don't know.
well, the
I don't know
rookie,
anybody would pick him up.
the rookie deal is 4 years with a fifth year option, but after the third year, they can extend it to give them a full contract. I believe is how it works. So the thing is, nobody's going to give him a long term contract. So this concussion that situation that he's got, I think a franchise tag is probably the most likely.
Yeah.
Right? They're gonna let play out the four.
I
Excuse me.
wouldn't be surprised if he retires in the offseason. I
Yeah.
really wouldn't.
Well, yeah.
Like, and I
Like
wouldn't blame him if he did. I think I think he's had a kid too. It's like living for
yeah.
your child.
What's great for him is that he was a first round pick, and I don't know about the exact numbers for the. I think he was the number 5 pick, right? I don't know the exact
3,
numbers.
5.
I believe he was the third quarterback taken, and then but the fifth overall pick.
I think because
Or no,
no, I think
Herbert was the quarterback.
because he was picked ahead of
There was Zach Wilson too.
picked ahead of
Herbert,
Herbert
yeah,
from
he
the
was.
Chargers. He was
Yeah,
picked ahead of a couple
but
guys.
he's lucky for him though, being a first round draft pick is he can make enough money, gets himself a financial advisor, and he can be set for the rest of his life as long as he invests it properly. And
Just go in the booth, fucking commentate. Else does.
I'm sure somebody out there will want. I'm not saying he can't
Yeah.
get any other kind of work in the
Right.
football, but luckily, like there is enough money in that contract even after taxes, because no state tax in Miami too, where he can have a couple $1 million sitting there working for him. He can easily draw down about 50,
Right.
60 a year without even touching it for the
Open
rest of
up a
his
couple
life.
fucking restaurants in South Florida.
Yeah. So like financially, obviously there's a huge difference
Yeah.
between a potential, multi-million-dollar contract, but he's not going to be starving.
Right.
So the money becomes an issue for everyone around him though. Like the friends and some of the family that are like, "Come on, man,
No,
suck it
fuck them.
up." Like there's so much money on the table.
No,
And
I
that's something
like I said,
I
if he
hope he
just had a
doesn't.
kid and like susceptible shit, then
Oh yeah, like I hope
hang it up.
if it's not just a fluke, which it probably isn't. Concussions, they do come in rapid succession sometimes,
You're
but
more
once you get
susceptible
them,
after you have one or susceptible.
yeah, once you get
It's kind of
them,
like a seizure threshold.
so well. I mean, We'll have to
All right, we'll
see.
get on to Black Adam.
But speaking of hitting your head against stuff, the Black Adam movie had a lot of hitting, a
Right.
lot of explosions, and so we've had this discussion before about how the DC and Marvel tend to bastardize the source material.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought they did a really good job with Black Adam. Like, it wasn't anything mind blowing, but I liked the cinematography, the visual effects were beautiful, and The Rock's acting. I mean, it's The Rock's acting. But, like, I didn't think it was bad for what it's supposed to be. Just a fun little brawl. And
Yeah. It was a look at it was fun. I mean, I don't think it was any top. I think they probably spent more money making it than they made back on it. That'll probably be the part for the course moving forward, especially with DC. We got a couple.
and people know that they don't have an overarching story.
Yeah,
It's
there's like they're just gonna fall flat on their face.
like I'm still gonna watch them and just see how well of a job they do, but I'm not gonna go to the theater and watch them.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get my money that way.
But no, it wasn't a terrible movie. Fun to look at and watch. The Henry Cavill thing at the end.
That upset me.
Cock tease.
Yeah, that upset me.
Um,
Because like Black Adam is one of the few guys that can actually fight and hurt Superman.
because he's magic based.
Yes,
Superman's susceptible to magic.
exactly. And so you
But
have
Superman still whoop his ass.
well, yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, but he's one of the few people that is actually a threat to him without having to grab kryptonite and just do the whole
Superman
yeah. Well,
insanely
I don't know, like
stupid feats.
if we're talking about Black Adam versus the DC Universe Superman, then Black Adam's a threat. If we're talking the comic book Superman, smacks Black Adam around, no problem.
Right.
Now that's all, but that just kind of upset me because I knew Cavill wasn't gonna be coming back as Superman, and then I saw that scene and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like,
They made him or they gave him the permission to announce that he was coming back. Only for like a month later, like, yeah, we're not going. We're not going to do it. That's I don't
that
know,
was
man.
terrible.
I don't know what's worse:
It,
the Miami Dolphins head office making stupid ass deals and not shoring up their O line, protect the quarterback, and provide a good team, or the heads of all the
Warner Bros.
mega $1 million corporations that comic book.
Well,
Did you
here's
see the Joker pregnant? Yeah, you want to look that up?
I'm a head out.
Yeah,
I'll see you later.
yeah.
Now, if you
Pregnant
wanted to
Joker.
now if you wanted to say something like, "Hey, let's talk about the Martha Wayne Joker, which is an actual female Joker," then that's something that could make an interesting storyline where for those that don't know, there's a storyline where Bruce Wayne is the one that dies instead of his parents. His mother goes crazy because of the loss of her son and turns into the Joker, and his father, Thomas Wayne, ends up becoming a much more violent and gun-happy Batman,
Punisher Batman.
basically. And that's something that I think could make a great storyline. And if you tell me that female Joker gets,
I don't think it's that female Joker.
but
You want to look it up? Go right ahead.
no, I'm good. I like
No, you got to look at the fucking picture, dude.
that.
You can't just not. I can't
Alright.
just not bring it up and then like validate it.
Fragment.
Yeah. Oh, there it
This
is.
is gonna hurt my eyes.
It's ma'am.
Oh dear God, why? Yeah, this I don't know who this
Hey,
lady
that's
is,
Melanie
but-
Mack.
Oh my God, it's terrible. This this one, the Joker in stirrups. Oh my. Oh
Wow, save that image. I'm gonna like fucking use profile pic. Really? That's fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Do you want to
So
like
we
read
want-
an article about it? Come on, you
So,
gotta
we
wrap
wanna-
it a little more.
We want to go through this.
And there's
there's
a perfectly reasonable.
God.
There it is.
Oh.
This sounds like a shit show.
This is where the Joker is pregnant, and there's a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why. Guarantee you. It's difficult to write a story where the Joker is the main character. This is the case with many villains, but the Clown Prince of Crime's traditional stream of consciousness approach to criminality doesn't exactly help. I mean, sure, James Tynion, i.e. the Joker, is a fantastic comic, but that's largely because it's secretly a story about James Gordon where he hunts down the Joker, rather than straight-up Joker story. Nevertheless, Matthew Rosenberg and Carmine Di Giandomenico are attempting just that. The Joker, the man who stopped laughing, really is just a book about the Joker, and it comes with some truly stream of consciousness backup stories drawn by Francesco Francavilla, in which, well, yeah, the Joker appears to be pregnant for a page. What else is happening? Welcome to Polygon.
Maybe he had some.
Good morning, boys. What are we doing today? I don't feel like doing a Joker impression right
Nah, this joke is they're making a
now.
joke.
This is the whole joke right here. I was thinking of trying to sneak onto the space shuttle. Boss, what have we here? You're pregnant. I think you're right. You have a good...
Maybe he just ate some fucking bad buffet food.
Okay,
retaining.
Spoiler alert. Here's the perfectly reasonable reason. If you want to read this comic yourself, fast forward.
Yeah, don't buy this. Go ahead.
Do not pirate it online, guys. Do not do that, okay? That is illegal. Remember. Now, it turns out that what actually happened is that he swallowed a bunch of mud same time that Zatanna was cursing him, and something magical probably happened. And anyway, barfs up a little Joker mud duplicate. And if that sounds darkly zany, very much the point. Okay, that's maybe one of the tamest ways they could have gone about it happening, so at least there's that.
They just... Oh, man. Okay.
Look, when I see the Joker, I'm expecting some crazy thing going on where he's got somebody held prisoner and some trap about to kill them, and Batman's got to save him in time. And I've seen it a million times, and guess what? I want to see it a million more. That's who the character is. That's...
Dude.
Oh.
I mean, and then you got all these other, like, they're just taking pop culture and angling. They're...
You know what I want to talk about?
Meshing so much dumb shit just to, like...
Exactly.
It's the book burning.
Here's what I want to talk about.
Alright, what?
The new Velma series. Like, you want to talk about...
I have not seen it. I've seen the animation, and I can just go by the animation and tell you, fuck no.
Here's how I knew I was never going to watch it. And I haven't watched it, and I refuse to.
It outdid Dragon Ball Evolution movie ratings.
Yes, it is.
Not in a good way.
Well, yeah, it is. I think Dragon Ball Evolution was 2.6 rating, and it was
1.4.
Was it 1.4
I think it's 1.4.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but still, it's 1 point something.
Anyway, so here's how I knew I was never going to watch it. It was when I saw that Mindy Kaling was the head of it.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
She's the Indian girl from The Office who had a stream of terrible movies, none of which were hilarious.
Okay.
And a god-awful comedy career. She's just not funny or amusing in any way. And she's not even, like, hot to look at. So you don't have dumb guys going, hey. She just keeps getting pushed because she's friends with all these guys like Judd Apatow and whatnot that run the... But anyway, the second I saw that she was the head of it, I'm like, yeah. No, I'm not watching this. And then they took Scooby out, and then Shaggy's a whole different character.
Then they race swap him?
Yeah, and it's just, they put, if they wanted to make a new series, exactly the series, just do that. Like, all you did was do what you want to do and slap the Scooby Doo name on it to try and piggyback off of it, rather than actually putting in the work and developing some characters yourself.
Yeah.
And like it's just like, what's wrong with trying to make something original rather than bastardizing a beloved series that's been going on since the
How many
60s, I believe?
hijacking and angling the fuck out of pop culture kids that are up nowadays, and it's like, it's like the fucking old school billboards back in the day, the smoking cigarettes and the commercials that they did away with because it was impressionable children, and
Which
they wanted to go
I'm okay.
duplicate it.
I'm okay
So
with
that's what
taking
they're
that
doing, and
out.
they've integrated themselves in pop culture and like, hey, this shit's normal. This is cool. Let's role play. Let's fantasy. This isn't reality. What you want?
But
The Joker's pregnant and eating mud. What the fuck?
oh, like it's. I mean, like Wonder Woman was sculpted from mud by her mother. Started with an, and then she was given life to by the Greek gods. Okay, cool. That's basically what happened here, except it was Zatanna and the Joker ate mud. It's like, but like, wait,
They just wanted an
like,
opportunity that the
and I know it sounds
yeah.
stupid
It's
that
like
we're harping on
shitty
a
clickbait.
fiction.
It's like
Yeah,
shitty clickbait in comic
exactly.
books. Like, hey, check this out. Look at the Joker's pregnant. Why? And then no one's buying this shit. And the people that like dog on people for dogging on this are they don't give a fuck. They're not out there buying this stuff. They're just like, oh well, he can be if you want. It's a fantasy, and they stick up for it. Like you have no idea what you.
See, that's the thing. Like, look, I get it. It's a fictional character, and with all the crazy stuff that happens in the DC universe, this isn't the craziest thing.
No.
But it doesn't. But the issue is that it doesn't, within the universe that you create. You have to follow the rules that you create, and that's where fans and people end up having issues. You know, like you establish a world, you establish rules for that world. You got to follow the rules for that world.
Yeah.
But this is just clear and blatant. Like, let's just get some clickbait. Who cares what's going on? And that's not what a good series is about. Like, there's,
Their strongest consistency right now is their.
you know what I would like to see for a DC universe? I would love to see maybe start out like the DC animated show from the 2000s, like 2001, I believe came out. A lot of those storylines were adapted directly from the comic books,
Yeah.
and that's what made that series so great. Is like the animators were like, they did good work on the animation for the time, and they just said, yeah, let's just make these stories, and they had to condense them and whatnot. But a John Jones movie with the White Martian invasion to kickstart the universe, I think that would be a great way to start it off.
I would not disagree, but I'm to the point
Oh, I don't expect them
yeah.
to do a good job with
No,
it.
no, I'm just to the point like no matter what they put out anymore, even if it's in good taste and good effort, going to I don't care because it's going to fund all these other side fucktard projects.
Mm.
So it's kind of like when Spider Man, all the Spider Mans in it came out and it was like nostalgia bait. It was a pretty good movie, and it's because they didn't do it. All that money's going to subsidize all the fucking dumbass things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't even want to give you my money anymore. Even when I'm like, you can see this room here, mine, all the fucking toys on me. I've actually, other than the McFarlane figures, like fuck with the Hasbro stuff, it's another avenue for DC to get my money. But like, I've even scaled back on most of those.
See, the issue that they have is the same issue that all of corporate America has. It's that, see, business is inherently amoral. It does not care one way or another. All it cares about is the bottom line. The problem is with it's become such a huge, massive corporation. You don't see the customers. You don't see the employees. It just becomes about
Yeah,
that number, and people lose touch with like, especially in media is one of the hardest things to do because everyone's trying to get people's eyeballs and attention,
Yeah.
And when you have something good, you need to stick with it and keep not
It's
not
avarice based, is what it is. They're
yeah.
basically they're going to oversaturate. They're going to put everything out. Like I'll give you an instance. These movies and some of these shit movies that come out, the toy lines, toy collector, the toys from the movies for the most part, fucking garbage. They're not worth the plastic they're printed on. Overly priced. Like no one's fucking buying them. They're like peg warmers. Just fucking sit there. They're not going anywhere. Like melt them down and go build a porta potty or something because they're fucking ass. They're garbage. I think the best fucking toy, a movie that came out in recent history I got, and if I saw it again I would buy it, but that's the only one. I'm gonna get up and go find it, bro. But continue on.
Well, they lose track of the people, like, and I'm not saying you need to pander to your fans,
Pander to your band.
like, because there's gonna
Well,
be
they
a
are
lot
the
of
ones that are buying your shit.
well, there's gonna be a lot of idiots out there saying do this, do this, do that, like
They already are.
but yeah, they already are. They're just not doing it in a good way. You got to say it right. I'll be back. God, that is a terrible Arnold impression. Hold on, let me try and do it again. I'll be back. Yeah, no, can't do it. Do me a favor. Put up a short of you doing your best Arnold impression. Let's see who's got a better one. You probably got a better one. Hold on, let me try another one. Pick
I'd
things
go to
up
my
and put them
overflow.
down. Pick things up and put them down.
Talking about.
I'm trying to do my best, Arnold. I'm the only
I've seen the thought.
trainer.
I have like fucking.
I think I'm the
overflow of fucking
Of
toys.
toys.
In the other room.
By the way, I think I'm the only trainer that can't do a good Arnold impression. Speaking of which, Limit Breaker Fitness, go follow. A lot of free information there.
Speaking
You
of
can get arms like this.
he's-
Yeah.
Arnold's a piece.
Well,
Screw your freedoms.
the jury's still out on me, but
Anyway, the best toy that ever came out for a fucking comic book movie, in my opinion, in recent history, I would buy this again if I'd seen it. I'll bring it up. A little
ooh,
dusty.
recognize
It
that.
is Destroyer armor. Yes, I got the plastic, that's the drugstore case around it. But this is Destroyer armor from
Or
first Thor movie. That is jackass, dude. And he's
Yeah.
not supposed to be superposable, so I'm cool with that because he's fucking.
I like there's
That
a
is
lot
the
of
best. Not like, no,
lot of detail.
yeah, look, I mean,
Like,
I aspire to fucking hit the gym.
and if you want to look like that, Limit Breaker Fitness. Go follow.
Destroyer Breaker Fitness, right
Come on.
here.
Destroyer Breaker.
Yeah. Destroyer.
Sorry, we can teach you how to make your titties dance over there. Dun 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 dun. I can do it to a beat.
Man is over here jiggling his C cups and shit.
Hey, I expect a lot of tips in the form of likes. I won't strip for you. Well, maybe next time. I'll strip for subscription.
He's over here printing areola style.
I'll strip for subscriptions. I'll dance for likes. How's that?
Wow.
Good. Be just like a certain blonde girl we know who's small and very loud and uses lots and lots of words. We can't name names, but he knows who I'm talking about.
No idea. But what's our next topic? Because Joker's a
Joker
to match the rest of the comic industry.
So
Independence and back issues.
we saw this thing on Twitter. I thought it was a funny joke. A rapist and a murderer walk into a bar. That's it. That's the joke.
Who did Harvey Weinstein really piss off and catch the beef that he's catching? Because there's so many names that are connected to this guy that are still out there shucking and jiving.
It's
And yet Alec straight murders somebody. I mean, in my opinion, I would say, like, if that were you or me that accidentally on a set of something shot somebody accidentally, but there's investigations into it. There's the families like actually did like a 3D model of where it happened and how close he was, and the response time and the way things kind of panned out after that. Ever, dude.
Well, you got money and fame. There's
Yeah.
very
But
little
Harvey
you can
Weinstein
get.
had money and fame, so allegedly he's locked
Well,
up somewhere, or is he chilling on that island? Nobody has access to him. Like 11 years old and famous.
11 teen.
11.
So the Weinstein thing, I think Selma Hayek might have been the biggest name.
Oprah. Oprah. That's Oprah's homie right there, bro.
Okay, if you're gonna sexually harass a woman, why Oprah?
No. They're homies. Oh,
Uh,
so he
okay. I was
he
saying,
harassed Selma Hayek.
yeah, I think Selma Hayek was the biggest name that came out and was talking about how he was like harassing. I don't know what the extent of the harassment
Right.
was, if it was, full on R. Uh, realized we were on YouTube and that we said it once or
Yeah.
twice already, but
That client list still has yet to surface. So
well, there's the Epstein client list.
Yeah.
And what,
It did surface. There was a documentary, and I believe it was on Netflix before this story, before heads started to roll. I don't think it's on. I think you probably have to search the dark web for it. But like they dropped the list of the flight logs, people that were on that zone, and there are people that are still out there making fucking cash right now. People are like, "Oh, I gotta go see their movie. I gotta go. I don't care if they. Oh, let's go see these movies."
Okay, I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat first
Yes.
and let.
Here, mold this 7-Up can. We're not sponsored by 7-Up, but
But it is good stuff. So there is the flight logs. There's the private island, and there's the Epstein suicide. What if, tinfoil hat? What if the whole thing was staged, and that the flight logs were fake from the beginning to distract everyone from something else? I know this is right up your alley. What if there What if it was all a distraction to keep us occupied, along with things like the Kardashians
welcome to the Matrix.
and the Super Bowl and all of that?
I mean, sure, it's possible. I'm one of those people that goes, everything's pretty much a distraction, but I don't know that that particular thing was, because there's a lot of people that came and they're throwing smoke at like loyalty people and shit, that Prince whatever the fuck is
Meghan Markle's
no,
Prince Harry,
the dude, Queen Elizabeth's one son,
Harry, or not the
No.
the one that's finally king now.
not Charles.
Charles. Okay, real quick though, did you see the memes about him finally being king? They were hilarious. They photoshopped him on a Simba and things like that.
Oh, Christ.
It was amazing.
No,
But
Yeah.
I don't know, because like, see, I don't care much about the royal family, because there's this thing I like to do called being an American and liking America. So I don't really don't care about the royal family. I don't wish ill will on them, but like,
I don't. Yeah,
it's just another thing that's outside of my home that is just a waste of my time. I don't pay attention to the
I don't give a
Kardashians
fuck
or any
about
of
that
these
dog.
things.
I don't give a fuck about that dog and pony.
Yeah, like I control what I can control in my own home,
Right.
and that's all I worry about. Like, I don't care who Kim Kardashian's dating now, and stuff like that. But like, you open up any news site, it's like Pete Davidson broke. It's like, okay, I didn't need to know this. Now I do. Thank you.
But Alec Baldwin, moral of the story here, that dude, I don't even know that Weinstein. They say he's behind bars.
He's behind the
He
jail.
might be. He might not in it yet.
Hey, Harvey, you need to be inside the jail. I'm good right here.
But there's so many inconsistencies with that Alec Baldwin thing. The guy is still walking. Wow. Like, wow, who does he have dirt on? Or
Like, I don't know
man.
a lot of the details, and like, so like it could be as something as simple as it was an oversight by the props department, and that's the sad thing about it, is that it could be a complete accident. But even if it was a complete accident, like if you or I accidentally run someone over, and they die, we still get caught up with like involuntary manslaughter and whatnot. But he is off completely scot free, probably because at the end of the day, it comes down to money, really.
Yeah.
Like you and I could get like we
Yeah,
had
look into it and see some of the inconsistencies there, and you're just kind of like, like there's just it's sketch as fuck. Like the family, like they want to know what the fuck happens,
yeah.
like the 3D model and time and what was said, what was called, and said here, story changed. Like you don't need good memory if the story had death switch, demeanors switch, and it's that, and then how it played out physically.
Well, not to defend him and changing of the story, but it is possible that during a traumatic event like that, um, like your brain doesn't always remember all the details or
Right.
it remembers them differently. Memory is not a 100% accurate thing.
Right.
You have 10 people go through the same exact experience, they're going to tell you 10 different things from the same exact experience. So it's always with testimonies like that. Usually, like you want to get like the first one is the one that's going to end up being the most accurate. So it now if he went from like if the story did a complete 180, then that's obviously
Yeah.
somebody's lying.
Look into it.
It's just
But
just so that it doesn't look like we're but just so that like people understand that like memory is something that's not completely accurate. Because like that's why they always want multiple things like that.
Yeah, trauma.
Yeah,
And then you got like your side, my side, and the truth somewhere.
Yeah.
But like this, that I would err on the side of that if this was some other, maybe even some other actor, but like just the way he after.
Well, here's what he doesn't have going for him. That he's kind of been a piece of shit.
Right.
Like like if you told me this was like Neil Patrick Harris, like Jim Carrey, somebody like that, and that it happened to, be like, okay, that probably was an accident, 100%.
Right.
Like this guy, like I remember, what did he do? He beat up a photographer.
Yeah.
Or something, or no, he beat up a guy for taking his parking spot. I think what it was is what it
I
was.
don't remember. I know he's had bouts with reporters.
Yeah, like he's physically assaulted people constantly, things like that. So like the possibility is there that he just really didn't like this woman, and like the possibility is there. But, like I don't know enough to speculate.
Right.
But, like either way, like it wouldn't surprise me. But at the end of the day, we're looking at two turds.
Two turn.
Two turds.
Blubber neck. All right. What's next? Screen
Uh,
time.
we got something interesting here. We got Donald Trump and Kyle Rittenhouse. There's a quite a bit to him there.
Okay.
It's
Rittenhouse thing is well, arguments shouldn't have been across state line. State line. That's where he worked. That's where he worked, allegedly. But then again, I'm just gonna I'll be quick about this and say, stupid enough on somebody fucking gun of any kind, try to physically assault him. Got what you got.
Well, that's like we were talking about before, where like if somebody's breaking into your house, they just forfeited their right to live
Unless it's due to street. Fucking.
Yeah, there was what it trying to remember what the law was. Like if you shoot like if somebody breaks in your house, you shoot them in the front, then it's self-defense. But if they get shot in the back, then you're the one who's going to be charged with like attempted murder and things. And here's the thing, like, so I break into your house. I'm like, hey, I'm here to steal all of your stuff. Shoot me. It's like, okay, cool. But I see the gun. We start struggling, and I end up getting shot in the back instead of the front. how is that like? How are you gonna be charged like that? And like that's the thing is stupid. It's
Yeah,
stupid.
that's
Like
terrible.
now, I will agree that he should not have had that as a 17-year-old. Like that is kind of an issue. Like that they were like a 17-year-old.
I
He didn't.
disagree.
Well, I'm just saying like that's what the law is. I'm not saying
Not the law there. He was fine. He was legal to have it there.
was it legal at 17
Yeah.
to have that gun,
Was-
because I saw things talking about how being under 18 he was not legally allowed to have that gun, that he took it I believe from his
No,
father.
it was given, I believe, somebody, whether a family member or somebody. Probably I don't know, but I believe the state he was. But you're allowed to go hunt. Fucking 12 with a shotgun. Difference.
I'm not saying there is. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like I'm
No.
just pointing it out. Like personally, I think that when you learn how to right when you learn how to handle a gun from a young age,
And he
you
handled it rather well.
yeah, you realize just how dangerous it is, and you're much less likely to shoot somebody. Whereas somebody who's, maybe they got a little crazy going on, they don't know how to use it. That's when people get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, look at Chicago. They've outlawed guns.
Oh yeah.
Highest gun crime rate in the United States.
Outlaw harder.
Like, if I go get a gun illegally, walk into a place with the intent to rob it, and I see a sign that says no guns allowed, am I gonna go, oh darn it, now I gotta go home?
Yeah, criminal.
Yeah, it's a criminal performs a crime because they believe they can either get away from it, or they just don't care about the consequences of the cops and the legal system. When a criminal is going to perform a crime and they're scared of the victim, they're probably not going to be trying to perform the crime.
Yeah, they know that the possibility of getting served is there. They're less likely to carry it out for
Yeah.
sure.
Like why do you think women are always are targeted more so than men when it comes to things like mugging? Because it's a fact, physically, on a general basis, women are weaker than men, so they get targeted more for something like that. And but
That's why
if a woman's
I
carrying,
advocate conceal carry.
and I don't care concealed carry or not, just let them carry.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I
like
mean,
if they want to conceal it, cool.
there's another.
Let's
Look, I
fuck
have
around, find
I'm
out.
a huge fan of open carrying. I don't do it all that much. I used to when I lived on the Lower East Side. People were like, "Oh, make you
Yeah.
a target." I'm like, "Okay, I'm 6'4", 250 pounds with fucking cannon on me. Okay." But that's all. Any in any circumstance I've been in, it's been a deterrent. Like I've come outside and people shooting up or fighting on the front yard, and I just have to sit out piece later. And it's shit like that has actually happened. On a girl, it's just kind of like if you're just like a 5 foot, cute girl or whatever, and you're open carrying it, I could probably come over and disarm you. You are a target.
Yeah.
Whereas if you come over and start grabbing, like you're gonna see me, I'm a bigger dude, and you're gonna go, I don't think I want to fucking even fight that guy, let alone risk getting shot. So for a girl, I think concealed carry is some
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's just what she prefers to do. Just,
Right. Right.
let him carry.
Right.
Like it's especially like with the outlawing the guns.
Mm.
You can outlaw anything. Drugs are outlawed. Guns are, but like we still have so much of it in the country. Why? Because criminals don't care about the law. If someone's going to perform a crime, they don't care about some law that says don't do it. And I mean, going back to the Rittenhouse thing, like I I can't speak onto his intentions. I can't get into his head.
Mm.
But from the video I saw, he was getting run up on
Yeah.
by the guy with the skateboard.
Yeah. Other than that, it was peaceful.
Yeah, and then after the guy was shot, he didn't sit there and start unloading into the dude.
He handled it better than most people would.
Yeah. So like you can say
The
like you
people that were the threats is the ones that he off on. So
yeah, like if you're gonna like I don't care what you're rioting over because that is a riot. And unfortunately, like with the whole Black Lives Matter thing and all this stuff, like there's a lot of good intentions from a lot of people. But as cliche as it is, one bad apple,
right,
one person goes in there, decides, you know what, I'm gonna start destroying cars, breaking it,
a lot of
and
them are
then
plants too. Yeah, a lot or they're injected in there to go create civil unrest, and that's just a tactic that's been used
yeah, I mean we just had Martin Luther
home and abroad. Like that's
we just had Martin Luther King Day the other day, and I think that the most impressive thing about him and his movement was the understanding of it being peaceful protest.
yeah,
The fact that, because especially with all the violence, African Americans were facing back then, it would have been very easy for them to just say, you know what, let's just attack them back. And the fact that he was able to instill this idea of peaceful protest in so many people, I think that was one of his most important and impressive characteristics. And we have these protests these days, and so, there are plants in there.
yeah,
Like, so yeah,
yeah.
there are. And
We had it
then
down here
there's
in Erie, man. Those people that were Molotov cocktail, those things were
yeah,
over
yes,
here.
yeah, and there's some people that are
They do the same thing out there.
yeah,
Start
they
shit
sow
show,
dissent
yeah,
and
and then
unrest in
yeah,
there.
and then happens after.
I,
And you can see like during the summer of love, a lot of those videos out there, and they were starting shit. And they were actually the actual movie. You're not with us. Like, what are you doing? Called out for it.
I think that's what
Good for them.
uh I think that's what the biggest difference is between like the protests that Martin Luther King Jr. had led and compared to like a lot of the protests now is that back then everyone was unified in their goal, whereas these days you have so many different opposing groups all trying to stand up for what they believe in, which is what America is about. It's about standing up for what you believe in and having the freedom to believe in it. And if you believe in something stupid, I have the freedom to call you out on believing in something stupid. But I will agree with your right to believe in it. But
I don't have to participate.
exactly. But I feel like that's kind of the issue and why a lot of these protests, which were intended to be peaceful, and a lot of them were, but you have idiots out there that don't truly believe in whatever cause it was supposed to be. Like there was a bunch of NBA players leading protests for Black Lives Matter. No issues with those ones. Like, but then you had the one in Minnesota where they started looting and rioting everywhere. I remember Greg Jennings on former Packer wide receiver and Fox analyst now. Him and his wife have a business that was down there. They went out there with their legal firearms, defending their own business, and trying to tell people like you're protesting and now you're rioting because you believe in Black Lives Matter. This is a black owned business that you're,
They didn't give a fuck.
potentially going to destroy. Exactly, and that's what the issue is that like and that's why you have some people going, "Oh, well all lives matter. Oh, well blue lives matter." Well, it's like, look, let's just like it comes back to my rule of don't be a dick. But a lot of these protesters, quote unquote, they didn't care what was actually going on. Whereas back in Martin Luther King's time, like everyone was unified in what they were trying to accomplish. Like, hey, we want civil rights, we want right to vote, we want segregation, all that stuff. Like a lot of people not like they don't even know what it is that they're fighting for.
No, because that's by design. They want when they show people out there rioting, ripping stuff apart. That is gonna feed into the psyche of people that are like fucking low level intellect, and they're gonna go, okay, this is how it's supposed to. They're gonna go out there, and then it also also fans the flames of racism. They'll show videos of black folks out there, which tells the black folks this is how you,
Yeah.
which tells the white folks this is how black people are. And it's a complete mind fuck. It perpetuates this cycle of racism. Really, it sits in their heads like this is how we. That's not how it is.
No,
Generally it's not. But there are people out there that that respond differently. You can't. There are a few bad folks and fucking.
and that's what I love so
You
much
know.
about sports is that it's a microcosm of society as a whole. Like when you look at like the NFL, it's predominantly black players, but how many of those players are actually a problem? Antonio Brown, he's an idiot. Doesn't mean all NFL.
Bipolar.
I mean, I think he's got CT eventually or something after that perfect hit. But okay, like, but unfortunately, he became a spokeschild of, oh, look at this dumb black NFL player. He's such an idiot. That's what they're. It's like no, he's one guy amongst 1,357 roster spots, I believe, or something like that. Like, it's less than 1%. Like,
Yeah.
you just any group of people is gonna have an idiot.
Or they're easily manipulated to do something. Example of.
Yeah.
So.
That's why like the media is such a it's such an important part of society and why it should be completely impartial. I was actually watching the Battle of the Super Sons yesterday. Uh, Damian Wayne, Robin, and Jonathan Kent, son. That movie that DC came out with last year.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, like Lois Lane was talking about how journalism is so important because it keeps, it's meant to keep the public informed of what's going on and keep checks on things like the government. This is a freaking cartoon and it's getting it right.
It's
and
true though. That's back in the day, like when Watergate and all that stuff. That's what the media was there for.
Yeah,
like, hey,
the
you're
fourth
doing
branch, I
shit
think,
wrong.
is what it was called. The fourth branch.
Yeah, you're the branch of government was like, hey, this is what's going on, and now look like Watergate ain't shit compared to the shit. Ain't shit like the stuff that's going on now, like just the stuff that we're finding out. It's nasty. We can imagine stuff that we're not finding out.
Like it's like we said, like we were talking about before.
Bread and circuses.
Like we were talking about before, how they were having trouble electing a new Speaker of the House for like a week or so. But my life did not change at all in that week.
Yeah.
And got up, worked out, went to work,
Yeah.
did some stuff here and there. Got rejected by a girl or two. Just the usual week.
For huge.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got here? We're done with the Kyle.
I think we covered
Cheeto Genius.
I think we've covered pretty much everything. I had these couple of tabs up on the race theory.
My Moxfield.
We we kind of talked about the whole race thing.
Yeah.
So that's an hour in the books, guys. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention? Go over real quick.
I
feel like we've covered a lot of pretty interesting topics.
Very random and sporadic, but yeah.
I'm just surprised they didn't try to make the Joker's baby black as well.
Check a box, man.
Like, okay, Joker's pregnant, the baby's a black transgender half alien made by magic. Oh, and Batman's the mom. Got in those Joker guts.
It's Batman.
It's Batman.
It's Batman.
I think that's the line of the day. It's Batman.
Who are you? All of the fucking GameStop yelling at
Batman.
Shit.
I have a vagina. It's thick and meaty.
Stick your thunderous sword in my woolly bat cave. Alright.
Yeah. I have a wet bat cave. It's very nice. The whole Batmobile parks in there.
Terrible. Terrible, terrible.
Although Robin ran away when he saw it.
Oh my God. Atheist. I say that. It's not really my Christ, it's yours.
I'm not Christian, so.
No, I'm speaking to the general public.
Uh,
It's cool.
oh
We're in
god.
Commonwealth, Pennsylvania.
How do you think the penguin would react to the Batgina?
I got nothing on that one.
He'd be like, "Hey, you know what? You can have the city." Can't do a penguin impression.
Oh, well,
I could keep going with the Batgina.
it's terrible.
Hey, Selena Kyle. Want to see my Batgina?
Scissor,
I think it might be just like yours.
scissor, scissor.
Want to know? Want to know how to make the Batarang? It has dual uses.
I feel like I'm front row in a bad comedy fucking skit.
Not only can it take down crime, but it has another use, also to be used late at night, preferably when I'm alone.
Licking the bat bean.
I call it the beam.
Oh man.
Your Bat Christ.
What did fucking Monty smoke before you got here? I have no idea. The bulletin: Alec Baldwin charged in fatal rush shooting. Shut the
Wait,
fuck
right
up.
now?
It's just popped
now?
up in my feed.
Show it to the audience.
Bring it up. It's on fucking Twitter, I bet.
Oh, yeah, it's on your.
What's trending on the right? What's happening? Is he over there?
Wonder why she doesn't like going down on you. That's what she
Dude,
sees.
that shit aired right there, Kyle. I was like, no, that fucking deserted that face. Is
Yeah, like
like he whole ass box of Sour Patch Kids chewing on a fucking 9-volt battery.
battery.
Still good.
It will never stop. Next
It's almost
episode.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Batman over here.
Next episode, I will wear my bat costume. Call it my boom. Alec Baldwin charged with involuntary manslaughter. A lot of people are comparing Kyle Rittenhouse to Alec Baldwin. Alec shot a woman while defending himself from a radical mob. Took a violent pedophile process. Oh, yeah, I forgot that the guy he shot was a pedophile.
Yeah, one of them.
That's fine. Kill all pedos.
Oh,
Hey.
I get demonetized for that.
So we're not
I don't disagree. But
we're not making money anyway.
Oh shit!
Look, all I'm saying is, if I ever have
They're maps. Minorly attracted people. That bitch from Erie. The fucking,
Oh my! I forgot about
what is-
that.
Oh, dude! Like, you said that out loud? What
So here's something that
the fuck is wrong with you, woman?
here's something that those people try to use as defense for the maps. Okay, they try and say, "Oh well, historically, women were married off at 13," but you can't base today's
Culture.
today's
Yeah.
culture on historical standards. The reason why that was a thing back then is because the average life expectancy was like 30 years old. If you made
Yeah.
it past 30, you were considered old. So they needed to get married young. But that's just what I
Yeah.
got to say about that dumb CU.
No, but there's a difference between, like, when you're 13, their reproductive organs, like, they're functional.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm not saying that it's
I'm not saying
justified in like going
it's-
like sleeping
yeah.
with no.
Scientifically
Mentally, they're not.
Yeah.
The capacity's not there to,
Yeah.
to be doing all that stuff.
Yeah, biologically
But like,
women do mature quicker
but
than boys
like
do, and
prepubescent and all that, like that. Them some fuck.
yeah,
What you said earlier, all out.
we'll call it
I don't know
cap.
if YouTube will, but
We'll call it cap.
all right.
Hashtag cap.
Oh.
Cap the maps. Hey, you identify as a map? I just want to talk. Look, all I'm saying is, if I had kids and the guy down the street kept trying to invite them over, me and him would have a few words, we'll say. Actually, my high school chemistry teacher, he is in federal prison now for child pornography. He had a small computer that was always on the side, and we always asked him like, "Hey, what's that for?" He's like, "Oh, that's just for all the video editing." He used to go around and photograph all the sporting events around the city. Nobody hired him to do that. He'd just do it. All the high school sporting events. And it wasn't really considered weird because he
He
did it
had
for
a
like
reason for it.
he did like all the events, and then he just kind of volunteered to do like the videos and things like for the schools. And so like nobody hired him for it. He kind of volunteered. He's like, yeah, I like photography, like I'll do it. It's just as a hobby. Turns out his hobby was also really focusing in on a few things during those, and being on the dark web, and they ended up they threw him in jail. This dude had like terabytes worth of child porn, and it was he seemed like he was a little weird, but he wasn't, but like he was like weird like as a teacher weird, not like weird as in jerking off in the corner when no one's looking.
Right.
Which actually that's a story.
There we go. Spiraling out of control.
Oh god, I
again.
forgot how weird my high school was. But so I ended up actually talking to the district attorney that prosecuted him. Like I was talking to him, and then it just kind of came up when I mentioned where I went to high school. He's like, "Oh, I prosecuted that guy. Yeah, we found like he was allowed to talk about it because it was all public record. Like they found gigabytes upon gigabytes of child pornography, but he was doing like peer to peer on the dark web, and he actually his parents moved out of the house and gave it to him. Never moved out of the house. Just kept living there, kept living there. His parents got tired of him. They moved out, just let him have the house. And he was never married, no kids, nothing like that. Like the once you see it, like the flags were all there.
Oh, creepers.
So the jerking off in the corner thing. The look on your face right now. So
Pedro Goblin Court. But my house, my corner.
okay, so it was Halloween, and you know on a Halloween you're allowed to have wear your costumes to school.
Yeah.
So this kid, I won't mention names, but this kid came in a giant box costume. His box like I'm a giant box. I don't know if he was trying to be like the Star Wars thing or whatever.
Or Boxman.
Yeah, Boxman, whatever it was.
Smosh.
Yeah,
Do you remember Boxman?
I have to look.
Oh, Boxman's
I haven't
girlfriend?
seen
Smosh?
Smosh.
Back in fucking shit.
So he's got this giant box costume. He could barely get into the door and whatnot, and he was just standing in the back of the room the whole time during like our math class was the class I had with him. And it was a normal class, like we watched our teacher do some math. I hit on the pretty girl. She said no. We, usual bullshit that I do. Then a few years later, he tells me, he's like, dude, you remember when I wore that box costume to school? Yeah. He's like, that math class that we had. I'm like, yeah. Like, I jerked off in the back in that box.
Oh, I don't know what that has to do with anything in the show.
It's
I will
just
apologize. This is not even on the Twitter fucking popular
no, but
topic. We're talking about some dude going to school with a box on and
jerking off in it. He said his goal was to jerk off in all his periods. We had 4 periods. We had A days and B days, 4 blocks, and
that's a conquest. How? I don't get it.
like I've heard of people trying to have sex in every state.
Yeah,
But
sure. Yeah, you want to like put your flag in,
yeah.
certain conquests, but like I don't know, school and
Okay, on that note, I'm gonna quit talking. We're gonna head out. I hope you guys enjoyed
I'm sorry,
those stories.
Monty was on one today. I know what he's doing when he goes home.
Gonna go flick my beam. That's my bat beam. My beam.
All right, folks.
Goodbye, folks. Remember, something, something, she belongs to the street.
Out.